So, you've got an interview for that dream job coming up and you want to shine. Well, you've come to the right place, because today we've got 8 tips that'll help you feel more at ease at the interview, be more confident, and help you answer those difficult questions. And by the way, don't forget to show up. You know what they say, 80% of success is showing up. Okay, so that's 9 tips for you today. 9 tips. And remember not to have any pieces of spinach between your teeth or anything like that when you see the interviewer. That looks really bad. Okay, so that's 10 tips. 10 tips for you today. A nice round number. Okay, cue the time lapse. We've got some top tips to help you get that job. And we've also got a bonus tip at the end, so stay tuned for that. Now, in this video, we've got some general tips about passing the interview. And if English is not your first language, we've also got some hacks about how to optimize your English at the interview. Start with confidence. They say that an interview is decided in the first 30 seconds. So you better get that introduction right. Well, we'll go into what you say later, but the best way to start is with a smile, maintain good eye contact, and give a strong handshake. Okay, but not so strong that you crush their hand and they have to go to the hospital for an x-ray for a suspected cracked wrist. Okay, and as far as the voice is concerned, keep the tone down, a falling tone. So, hi, I'm Gideon, not hi, I'm Gideon, a rising tone. Okay, so you want to sound friendly but serious. There is an old, much quoted piece of research that says that 93% of communication is non-verbal. And while that might be an exaggeration, it's certainly true that it's extremely important. So make sure you sit upright with open body language, not closed ones like this. Keep good eye contact throughout. Okay, use hand gestures if that's your style. And my top tip is, if they ask you if you want something to drink at the beginning of the interview, ask for a glass of water. This will help in 3 ways. Okay, firstly, it'll give you something to do with your hands instead of keeping them frozen in concrete, resting on your knees, or stop you from fidgeting. Secondly, it'll give you some thinking time if they ask you a difficult question. Let me see. Okay. And thirdly, you have something to drink if you're thirsty. The interviewer is sitting there thinking, what can you do for our company? And not, what can I do to help this person? And your answers should always reflect this. They should always focus on why it's a good idea to hire you, okay? So for example, if the question is, why did you leave your last job? Okay, so firstly, never criticize your former boss or your former colleagues. Okay, keep things positive. My last boss was stupid and my colleagues were all bastards and they didn't appreciate my genius, and now I want to progress my career and hopefully become a manager within the next 2 years. Okay, no. Instead, always put a positive spin on things and what you can do for them. All right. So although I enjoy working in my current position, I feel that after 3 amazing years, I've come as far as I can at this company. So when I saw your advertisement, I thought, wow, this is a great position. I've got the skills, I've got the experience, and it's a company with an excellent reputation, and it's a place where I can really make a positive contribution. Okay? So the answer is what you will do for them and not why it's good for me. Everyone likes a story, and your interviewer is no different. By giving of lots of examples throughout the interview, you'll sound more interesting and give colour to your expression instead of talking in generalizations about your experience. Okay, so for example, instead of saying, I worked in the production department where I developed systems using XYZ, make your example come to life. When I worked in the production department, I wrote a new system that automated some boring, repetitive tasks that they had previously had to do by hand. It saved my co-workers about 12 hours each per month. My company were delighted, and my co-workers too, because they were able to spend their time on more creative things. Your USP is your unique selling point. What makes you different from the rest of the pack? What can you offer that other candidates can't? Often, the candidate with the best experience and qualifications is not the person who gets the job in the end. Perhaps you can demonstrate that you're a quick learner, that you're versatile, that you're a team player, that you know foreign languages. So throughout the interview, make sure you let them know what makes you unique and why they shouldn't let you go. This is often overlooked, but studies have shown this to be one of the most important factors influencing people. To put it simply, if the interviewer likes you on a personal level, you're more likely to get the job. Who would you give the job to? A highly qualified candidate that you don't like, or the less qualified candidate that you like? If you have to work with the person every day in your team, then you would probably choose the less qualified person and then train them up. So try and connect with the interviewer, get into his or her mindset, and if you find something that you both have in common, that can help you too, to bond with that person. So my next tip is learn key phrases, but don't memorize, okay? Do your research well, prepare for the interview, but don't memorize your answers. It won't work. Instead, speak naturally and clearly, okay? However, if you're not confident about your English level, if English is not your first language, here is a hack. Here are some phrases that you can use to enrich your English expression, okay? And by using them, the interviewer will get the impression that you can express yourself with subtlety in English, okay? So, for example, instead of using a lot or very or much or many, you could say a significant amount, okay? I did a significant amount of work on this project, okay? Or a great deal. It required a great deal of effort, but I succeeded, okay? You can use considerably, okay? It was considerably more difficult than I imagined. Instead of saying a little or a bit, you could use something like rather, okay? Although it was rather difficult, I managed to complete the task, And to show a nuance, use somewhat. His response was somewhat surprising. And instead of completely, say wholeheartedly. She thought that this was the best course of action, and I wholeheartedly agreed. Okay? So these are just some examples, but do your own research. But it's good to have a few of these key words, key expressions to impress the interviewer if English is not your first language. Now, if English is not your first language, you might be worried about making grammar mistakes. Well, you shouldn't be. The interviewer is not a grammar teacher and will probably not even notice your grammar mistakes, unless, of course, you're going for a job as an English teacher. But generally, he or she has invited you to the interview because they've seen your CV, they know you have the skills, they know you have the qualifications, and they know that English is not your first language, okay? And they don't care about that as long as you can express yourself clearly and precisely. And here's my bonus tip. Enjoy yourself. Try not to see the interview as an interrogation, okay, but rather as an interaction between two people in the same field. So have a good conversation, emphasize your friendliness and enjoy yourself. If you manage to do that, okay, you'll come across as more relaxed, more affable, and they are more likely to want to work with you. So there you are. If you have any interesting interview experiences, then put them in the comments. And thank you for watching. And when can I start?